Bella, get the Bella. Good girl, good girl, good girl. But yeah, you know, I was a beast, son. I was a beast. And we're talking about one of the most gangsta, one of the most gangsta counties known to mankind. One of the most gangsta counties ever, son. And I was put in that bitch for no reason, to be honest with you. But, you know, I was quiet as fucking shit, but I was beyond, you know, I was beyond, I mean, yeah, you know what, people, like my fucking, my goddamn, I don't know, nigga, my life and shit, it's crazy. I'm about to fucking do a bunch of push-ups or something. I just ate a seafood, platter type junk. But I mean, I was quiet as fuck. But I was like, no, not. I was just no, not to be fucked with. The first time I was, I wasn't known. People just knew not to fuck with me. I wasn't known in the county, cause like I didn't live in the city. I lived in the city for 4 years recently, but I didn't grow up in the city. My mom took me out when I was a baby. Thank God, really, but I was still the baddest ever, wherever the fuck I was raised. I'm telling you, I was the baddest. Just more chances of being like shot and killed and being worse growing up in the city. I'm telling you, I'm telling. But anyways, you know, influenced by like more guns and shit and gangs and shit. See, where I grew up, there was no guns and shit, which was good for me because my Aries ass shined and shit. It really did, you know. My Aries ass shined, boy, it really did. But yeah, like the first night there, some like 19-year-old black homie. He said like, you're built for this, because he peeped my back up or whatever. He peeped my back up and he said like, you're built. He's like getting on my good side for the night. Like we pretty much knew we were only serving one night in there, but you know, he was like just younger and skinnier and shit. Like I'm always skinny, but like, you know, when you're young, you're like just skinny and weak as fuck. You know, you just are. So he was looking out for himself, like keeping it cool with me and shit, and you know, you know. But then I got like a year later or whatever, shit happened, and I served 3 months. It was between my mom and I, just straight bullshit. My mom playing massive amounts of games, this and that, and but you know, I was you know how like you go up levels, you switch cells, you switch levels, you can like get into a cell with somebody you were around on the bottom level for weeks, and then you're like they bunk you with him for the last like month, whatever, the last couple of weeks, you know. But It isn't like I was shy around everybody except for my cellmates. You know, that's just how it is with me. I'm mad shy around people until you're around me for a while, and then I'm out of control. You know what I mean? Like, but but I mean, I was like writing lyrics and shit, right? You know, but that writing lyrics and freestyling and shit. I really didn't freestyle. I wrote lyrics and performed them. I performed them and shit, like in a 3-man cell, this and that. And they liked it. They liked it and shit. But also, I had like a hemorrhoid and shit going, like, cause my diet changed so much. Cause we see, oh my, yeah, I do have, my old channel has like, well, it's still my channel. I'm gonna get back to it. I'm gonna let both these channels know at some point about each other, you know. But you'll see how like skinnier and in shape I was years ago, which I'm gonna get back to. Honestly, I'm gonna get back. Even though I just ate, you know, king size Fifth Avenue after my seafood platter or whatever, but like, yeah, I changed my diet, and I didn't poop for like a week, but like I was sticking. Basically, they gave me like, I had to like carry this little cream thing around. They gave me for my hemorrhoid, and I was taking like pills to poop or whatever. It was crazy. I was also like the only one. Jesus. I'm mentally ill, son. I'm beyond mentally ill. It's just, it's facts, yo. It's sad, but it is what it. I. See, now I'm going off topic too much. I'm gonna forget what the fuck I was. But I quickly go into the shower and like, cause that's where like the cells didn't have hot water. Every time, every block I was on, it was like my side didn't have water, hot water. The other sides did. It was crazy. Like pretty much because my dad is like a legend in that county too, a legend in that county. And like at one point we didn't have hot water, and my cell was the very last cell to be fed, and we be getting like the trays that were like like specifically made for people with fucking like special diets or whatever. Special diet trays we'd be getting because they wouldn't have enough trays, and like Jesus, man, the shit I went through in there in 3 months was. I mean, this video, I'm gonna, I can't even make this video. But I mean, I was like, I'd stick my butt out the fucking wiki hole, whatever. I'd stick my bare naked butthole out the window and like finger my butthole and shit. No, I wouldn't finger it, but I'd just wipe the fucking cream on my hole. I pretty much remember that. Definitely with the one guy. He was in the 3-man. He was in the 3-man cell with me though. But we moved to the 2-man cell once the one guy left, whatever. But I think I think I did that in both cells, whatever. And the way I snapped on homie, I was like I snapped on dudes. I did, like full grown black men my size, which was crazy too because when I got to that block, I didn't know we'd be going all block out together because I was like fresh meat, you can say. But I snapped on this dude before he even came. I even ever seen him come out of the cell. I was already crouched down at his window screaming at him. So I didn't. He was like, "What?" He was like, basically, it was crazy. Like he was acting drunk or something. Cause after I snapped and said some shit, he looked over. He was like, "What?" It was it. But he never did anything, anyways. It was funny as fuck. I snapped on him again too, cause like he borrowed my fucking. I let him borrow my fucking like iPod, cause he was like the door over to us, the cell over. I let him borrow my tablet, and ear thingies to fucking make a phone call, and he was taking too long, and I was like kicking the fuck. I was screaming and shit. I'm not joking. I'm not joking around, nigga. I'm not joking with you. I'm a bee, son. All right. Oh yeah. The one guy I was with for a while. big fat cunt. I knew his cousins too. His cousins were like athletic white boys and shit, doing backflips off trees and shit like that, running up and doing backflips and shit. But he was like a fat type meth head, a young meth head, a little bit older than me, strong motherfucker, big. He could have kept the one white boy who was serving trays through the wiki holes for a while. He was like a white gangster. He was in there for PCP, whatever, selling, whatever drugs, carrying a gun and shit like that. The fat dude didn't have anybody for commons. Like my mom, I broke the fat guy off with commissary a little bit, ramen noodles and shit to keep him happy. Cause I didn't, I was getting $100 from my mom every fucking week, whatever, and he had nothing, So really, for him not to kill me and yoke me up, you have to break him off with something really. But and I'm a kind person and shit, and I didn't need all that shit in a week. I'm telling you, so. And he was grateful too. He said thank you a lot and everything. He was like a nice. He was nice. He was a nice big fat dude. He was a business, but like I said, man, you're not feeding that boy, eating in front of him constantly, being my size. He could yoke me up. He can kill me in my sleep and shit. Like I'm telling. But yeah, the gangsta. He was like, at one point, he was like, why don't you just yoke him up real quick? He's skinny, whatever. And he looked at me and chuckled and shit, It was funny as fuck though. I mean, like I swear to God, the prison was trying to fucking kill me, and what's really weird? I didn't even tell you the crazy stories yet, but what's really weird is the OG, the 61-year-old Dominican black guy, he was on the bottom level with me for a few weeks, and then the last couple of weeks he was at the top level. He was my cellmate. And like after he got out like a week before I did, and then I seen him on the streets working for the city, like riding a bicycle around, working for the like a security type shit. Like he knew the codes and everything on the walkie-talkie. It was like they were trying to fucking get information to see if I did anything crazy. They really were. I swear to God. But honestly, I'm not that important, and they're not gonna. Nobody's really gonna spend fucking 2 months in there and shit like that. 2-3 months to fucking. Unless you're paying them real good, I don't know, but either way. And he was a beast too. Like I don't think he was lying about his shit though. He was talking about having 9 felonies though. How are you working for the city like that with 9 felonies? I don't understand. He did go to college and get like his education, at 50 something, whatever he said, but how do you go to college with a fucking criminal history? Is that even possible? Yeah, anyways. Yeah, it is. I don't see what the point is with criminal history. You ain't gonna be doing this shit, blood. He was only making $15 an hour. But anyways, you ain't gonna be doing shit. But like basically, did I miss out on that one thing I was talking about? I don't think. But yeah, like, hold on, let me get but it was like, what the fuck else did I? Oh my God. Yeah, like, on the lower level, I seen this one, like, he was like 6'2" type shit. I'm like 5'11" and a half. This guy was like 6'1", 6'2", a little bit heavier set, a little bigger than me, taller, like Hispanic with a little bit of white in him or something. He had like green eyes or blue or something, and he was like the wild, loud type, like fighter, Like, he was just like one of the fucking beasts, you know? He was one of the beasts, man, and like, he was in there for PCP, whatever else. I heard a lot of PCP stories. That's crazy. But, what the fuck are they doing here? That's pretty cool. They're making a, but he was nuts. He was nuts, and, you know, I seen him, like, yoke some smaller type Mexican guy up. Like, somehow he opened his door, got into his cell. Like, right when he opened his door, he grabbed him by, like, I pretty much seen it, I'm not gonna lie to you. He grabbed him by his jaw and shit, and you just seen him go in, and, like, people, like, closed the door. So he pummeled him for a second, you know, because the motherfucker borrowed food, you know, and didn't pay it back. And when I was with the OG, I was shy as shit, but the OG talked and did shit for me with my commissary, because the OG's commissary got fucked up sometimes. Like, mine did the 1 week, whatever, but, you know, we paid that gangster back once we were on the top floor. But yeah, when we were on the top floor, because shortly after that, yeah, like right when that OG fought that guy, he got, like, taken out, whatever, of the block, and I guess they moved him up to the top, just like they were going to with us, like, a week later or whatever. And, like, you know, I seen him do that, and then he got moved down. I thought I'd never seen him again, but I didn't know we were moving up to the I didn't know how the system worked and shit, but a week later or whatever, we moved up to the top, you know, and he was up there, and he was like a food server type little boss up there and shit like that, and which I don't really understand how he'd even get in that position by just being in a fight. Like, isn't that like being on your good side to get that position? But either way, he was like a food distributor up there already. It was nuts. And I accidentally kicked him in his fucking shoe once. The first morning, I hit him. I kicked him in his shoe. You know, we're both like 11, whatever, 12-inch fucking foot monsters and whatever, and I didn't say anything or nothing. And the next morning, I totally forgot. You know, I totally forgot about that little kick. And the next morning, I kicked his shoe again by accident. And I pretty much knew, like, right then and there, like, I knew I did it twice. And then, fuck. And then, fucking people creeping behind me and shit, blood. I'm fucking about to snap the fuck out. What the fuck are they doing? But, yeah, I kicked his shoe, and I was like, you know, I was just like, I kind of chuckled real quick, and I was like, I looked back and said, my bad, you know. And he chuckled too, like right after I chuckled. As soon as I said my bad, he was chuckling and shit, you know. But see, if I was like, really, any type of fucking nerd in there, which there was a few of them, I'm not gonna lie. Close to half the motherfuckers in there were like, just, like, bitch made, a bitch made motherfucker kick a nigga's shoe once, you know. He'd probably say something twice, definitely, fucking, he'd lash out. But me, you know, you can look at me and you don't really want any. you don't want to take a chance. Cause I'm just like long, lanky and shit, man. Veins popping out, you know what I'm saying? Speed kills, son. Speed kills. It really does. And I was always the fastest nigga, son. The fastest nigga. That's where most of my confidence always came from, being the fastest nigga, son. You don't even want to see my hands, you know what I'm saying? Let alone me running the fuck up on you. Like, I had niggas trying to run away from me and shit. They just flopped down on the fucking ground. Because they ain't getting away, you know what I'm saying? I mean, my legs, just look. I need to set my camera down. And I'm too lazy. I'm too lazy. But, and then, also when we were up on the block, I asked the OG, I was like, because he said he served, mad time in Attica, this and that, in New York, different places. And he was in that county a couple times. But I was like, have you ever seen anybody put whitey tighties? I was like, have you ever seen anybody put these on their head? And I'm flexing, holding the fucking whitey tighties. And he's like, no, I'd haven't. And I'm like, well, you're about to. Blackout was like 10 minutes away. Oh my God, I forgot about that story. I did. Oh my God, and that one. But, yeah, and then like blackout came, and I put the fucking, he went out first, whatever, and then like I just put the whitey tighties on my head, and I stepped out the fucking cell, yo. And I was down around the entire block with whitey tighties on my head, son. When in the other 2/3 the block, whatever, sitting in their cell just watching me gossiping and shit. Like, look at that motherfucker. And the one Mexican homie who was cutting people's hair, he got an interest into liking me, and the OG was always laughing, talking about it, because the Mexican called me over to his cell when he was sitting there. He was on blackout first, and when we were second, and the other motherfuckers were on third, whatever. But that Mexican guy got his ass beat, and he got taken out of there eventually. But he was like a barber and shit, and pretty sure he was gay, and he did take an interest. He didn't hit on me or nothing, but he called me over to his cell a couple times and just chatted it up. But he never said or hit on me or nothing. He was pretty cool, actually. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, just calling me over like that, and yeah, something's wrong with you. something's up. There's no other cell called me over, honestly. Maybe quickly to ask me to fucking say something, some other cell real quick, whatever. But what the fuck? Oh God. Yeah, like let me get that done. And that, I don't know, the one time I had my hair was done like real crazy and feminine like. It just was. And the Cuban Dominican, the Cuban, the Dominican, the I forget, he was black and Dominican or something. Them motherfuckers with their hair. He had all the hair products and shit like that, and his hair was always like wet and gelled and whatever. But the one day I went hair crazy with him, and we were like two pimps. We were basically two pimps with crazy ass hair, and they sitting on the picnic table like beasts. And I took a shower like every day. Which gets into my next story. And then next to last, pretty much. But my life and luck and whatever, like the one block out, I'm in the shower and I'm hearing like crazy wheezing sounds, whatever, breathing sounds. And I didn't want to say anything or look over the stall because he'd be like considered, whatever. So I just basically listened to this shit, and then my fat meth homie was at the goddamn CO's desk, and like, like I was kind of like looking at him. I was looking over there at the desk because you can like see through like the top of your thing or like the crack of your curtain, whatever. I swear to God, I was like keeping an eye on my homie in the desk for some reason. Or I might have just looked right over as the shit popped off. But I do remember exactly what they looked like, and what officer was screaming like, "Code Blue," or no. My fat homie was like, "Oh shit." He was just like, he looked over, and he was like, "Oh shit," because I might have been like looking at the fat homie, you know, making faces or something. I might have been looking at him as I was taking a shower, no homo, keeping an eye on him and shit, you know, like listening to what he was talking. He was just chatting about like corrupted cops and shit like that, and then he's like, "Oh shit," and he like, you know, he's looking over towards me basically, and the fucking officer's like, "Code Blue, this and that." He's like, he jumps up, he comes over to him, he's like, "Get the fuck out the showers." There was like two guys over to the other side of me, and I was right next to the fucking dude who, yo, this might fix my fucking, might be fucking perfect, blood. But, he fixed my motherfucking, Jesus. He's saying, Code Blue, get the fuck out and shit, and, you know, I'm like, oh shit, and the two little Mexicans, whatever, scurried out the bathroom, the shower quicker than I did. But I was the last one. I grabbed like my little towel, whatever, and you know, my shirt was off, everything. Just I was soaking wet, marching through the. But like, yeah, I got out my shower and looked over into the stall, like a nosy motherfucker, real quick, you know. And yeah, dude was just like laying there, you know, because there was like a little ledge. Like a step over to get into the shower, and all that dude did was like step up on that ledge, tie his fucking sheet, whatever, to there was like, but they took next week they took out the fucking pole thing that was across. They must have had that shit set up. They were waiting for somebody to straight up kill themselves. Honestly, it's like what the fuck? And then like I heard stories how they're gonna get rid of that step-in ledge and everything. I don't know. But I mean, the whole place is getting torn down anyways. A new county's gonna be up and running in a couple of years. There's gonna be a major block party when that 300-year-old county gets destroyed, demolished. It's gonna be a huge block party. I want to be there. I really do. But then again, I guarantee you, some of my family members will fucking be. And I'm the type to hide from my family. I always did, and I just always did, son. But yeah, and like, I was just like, oh shit, and I marched through the shit to my cell, and it was just like, I had to dry off and get dressed as the fat homie and the other guy were staring out the window at all the action going on, you know. I was just getting dressed behind him, and we were talking about it. It was pretty cool. And like, I seen The Giver, the movie The Giver in there. You know, it was awesome when I got that tablet and shit and moved to that 3-man cell, because they were in there suffering they were just with some weirdo who got taken out of the cell. They had no tablet, no way to communicate, no movies, nothing. I came in with the tablet, and then the one guy had a tablet, and he got some movies on his too, but he didn't have the earpiece to make phone calls. So I came in there with another tablet and the earpiece, and they were so happy. The fat guy even said, like, they were both The next morning, the fat guy was like, you know, we're so happy you came in here, and they were both like giddy, smiling at me, because they told me the other guy was crazy, this and that. Like I brightened up there, and he even said like, yeah, even between us, it was like kind of stagnant, but it's in my personality. It is amazing, people. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like all this YouTube shit really is like like I am a troll on the internet. That's what I'm bred to do. I was a troll, video gaming, dominating, like true professional gamer. I'm not lying to you. I was in shit with Assassin before he was in Fear. You know, Allied Coalition right before he went to Unreal Talent, L2K and Unreal Talent and shit like that. Then he went to Fear. We were in Call of Duty 3, dude, you know, Hastro, Assassin, me, dominating. And I dominated mad other video games, not just Call of Duty. I'm talking about every fucking Grand Theft Auto. Every game I was known as a fucking beast, if not a god. Gears of War, Halo, Last of Us, Killzone, whatever the fuck. Saints Row, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six, Ghost Recon, Advanced Warfighter. List goes on and on. But, you know, Dark Souls, list goes on and on and on. But, my heart's just savage. My heart's straight up savage. And my personality is... But, yeah, and then the last thing, which was pretty sick, because I was just known to be quiet in there the whole time, even after this happened. And even after the white panties, nobody said a thing. Nobody said a thing. It was amazing. Nobody said a fucking thing. And and then the one night, you know, the 61-year-old OG, he'd take pills, medicines to conk out and fall asleep. He was in bed by like 9-something o'clock, but you know, most nights I'd be up till, cause they take your tablet away at like 9 or whatever the fuck it was. But I stay up till like 11, 12 type shit. 1, 2 sometimes, just like this night. This night got late. It just did. But it wasn't that late when this happened. It was like 11. It was like 11. It was like 11 o'clock, yo. A couple hours after Elmy passed out, and I was in the corner cell of another. It was like a 3-man cell. It really was, but there was only 2 of us in it. But yeah, like, I was sitting there just, you know, working out a little bit and eating some commissary shit, listening to fucking these losers, which they didn't do every night, but sometimes they did. They chatted the fuck up, you know. And like, we were at the corner. It was like some cell over here and some cell over here, whatever. Some cell here, and like but they were like, my cell was basically in view constantly of these guys sitting down at their little wiki hole. And oh yeah, jeez, quickly I forgot about that shit. I mean, I even jammed a fucking door the one time and had to move cells. I fucking flung the door open too hard with both arms, as hard as I could, and jammed it. Because I just got off the tablet with my mom, and she pissed me off. But yeah, nobody else was jamming doors in there, you know? It's like, Jesus, it's like, I'm mentally ill. And then I was like walking back and forth, pacing, looking down at the CO. He was like but he was like built too. He was more built than me, and younger and shit. But I was like just grilling him up, and then he came up into the cell. He's like, yeah, y'all gotta move. And like we had like double mats and shit like that, and the fat guy was like, yeah, can we bring our mats? And he was like, I don't give a fuck. If I was a CEO and I was getting grilled up by, I'd be like, no, you can't. Motherfucker was just grilling me, son. But he was probably just one of the coolest young black cops in the history of mankind, I'm not gonna lie to you. He probably knows exactly what that shit's like in their blood. He can feel and see his black brothers and shit suffering, you know what I'm saying? But, yeah, and then also, like, I was trying to get into, like, the one lock cell because it had, like, a thick mattress in there, unused. And I always had, like, mad mattresses. It was nuts. I was dragging them and stealing them out of places. I didn't give a fuck, yo. I mean, at one point when and I was by myself a lot, too. A week here, a week here, a week here. I was really by myself in cells, yo. But when that fat guy left, I swear to God, I had like 6 mattresses. It was insane. I was sleeping on 3, had like 2 or 3 at the bottom of my door to sit and sit near the window, whatever, the wiki hole. It's like I'm living like luxury in there, man. With my $100 commissary every week and tablet. I was playing video games and shit, nigga. Cool little RPGs, yo. Like Diablo and shit like that. I'm telling you. And you know what? That was the only time. The first night I served in there was right before they got the tablets, and it was pretty bad for one night. I'm not gonna lie to you. I was like underneath the bed drawing and shit like that. And me and the little young homie talked for one night, which was nothing, but I can't imagine doing time without a tablet and shit like back in the day. Shit, that's something that's some bad shit, man. That's some bad shit, blood. I'm not gonna lie to you. Oh, I can't imagine. Because that tablet gave you and your homie so much to do, whoever it was. Emails, my homie was I couldn't figure out the emails myself, but phone calls, emails, online shit, reading books, video games, fucking, Jesus. I'm telling you, man. Sucked up mad hours. Movies. Passing around movies. Oh yeah, and I seen The Giver in there. Like, I swear, I thought he almost killed that bird. But I truly believe I was kind of sent there for a reason, and it was to see that movie, The Giver, which I never would have seen if I never would have went there, because I was never into movies until I went to the county. And the first night of watching movies, whatever, when I purchased a movie and the one homie purchased a movie, he purchased The Giver. I purchased the Kevin Hart and some other dude comedy, whatever it was. It was good. Both movies were good, man. That was a good night, man. It was like our second night, whatever, getting along and shit like that. And the fat guy had nothing, no tablet, no commissary, but he was watching movies and getting free food, and he had stories to tell. He really did. He had stories to tell. I didn't really have stories to tell, but I was an entertainer. I was just an entertainer. And I was the only one snapping the fuck out, like I said, left and right. Those 2 dudes were like just quiet and shit. Well, really not quiet, but they weren't fighters and shit like that. Like, the big dude was like singing in the shower a couple times. He'd sing in the shower. He was good too. Like, he really tried, He really enjoyed singing. But, yeah, last thing. I had to just get those 2, whatever the stores, the fuck they were, mattress stores. But yeah, like, oh my God. Quickly, I gotta say, I was always washing my underwear and like socks in the fucking sink. I also drank a lot of the water there too, out of the sink, which the OG was telling me like nobody does and you shouldn't do it. Meanwhile, like years later, like last year, somebody got like Legionnaires, whatever disease, drinking the water in there, because the water is their own. It's not like public system water or whatever. It's like the prison's water. And it's really bad. I can't believe how much I drank too. I can't. But I've been a water fiend since fucking 2016 basically. You know, I need to drink it like constantly. But yeah, I was washing my underwear in the water too, and OG was always laughing. He was like, he loved like, talking about that shit too. He was like, you should be making money washing people's drawers in here, and he'd be giggling talking about it. He's like, you should be honestly washing people's drawers in here making money since you enjoy it so much. Like, he probably never seen anybody wash as much shit as I did. I don't know. I'm mentally ill. But, I'm about to just pee right here with mad people watching. I'm a man. You gotta do what you gotta do. Yo, hold on. I can't even, like, unbutton my shit. I just gotta whip the motherfucker, like, completely out. Balls and all. But, yeah. I had, like, underwear to dry out pretty much. And, like, to entertain myself, like, now that's so real. Entertaining myself as I prove my dominance. But to entertain myself, you know, as I was bored, sitting there, fucking, I fucking, what the hell is that? Is that a walkway? But yeah, like, oh no, I just like kind of planned everything out real quick. Because I knew there were like looking right across my cell, and I seen like a little paper towel roll thing, an empty one, and my homie was sleeping whatever, and I just you know I quickly like went outside the wiki with my hand and put the paper towel roll up against the door and hung my underwear out over it, and like I forget what I put up on the thing to make the underwear stay. I didn't have to put much, I think, or whatever, but basically the underwear just stuck out there with like the looking like a boner with a paper towel roll. And I sat for like a minute. Not even like a minute. I'm sitting there in the fucking shadows of the wiki hole, just waiting for them to fucking. And then like you hear the little Mexican homie. They talked English too. They really did. And he was like, he just said something. He just said, like, you know, he just heard him start laughing. He really did. And they didn't stop. And they were, I didn't know it was going to come down. I didn't know it was going to get crazy like it did. Because they started like, they got mad into it. They got into it. Like louder and louder. And they were calling out our fucking number to our door. And I'm sitting there like laughing the entire time. You know, I was loving the attention. But like OG woke up and he was mad. He was just mad. And you know, and this guy was like kind of like a bodybuilder type prison OG. Yeah, he's 61 years old. Muscle starting to fade pretty much, but Still bigger than me, you know, still bigger than me. You know, and he was mad and shit. He never tried me, though. He never tried me. You know, I don't know who would have won. Probably me. I'm fucking younger. 60 years old, man. 60's old. But, you never know about that old penitentiary man strength shit. You know, what he's been through, what he's capable of. You know, 65, 70, I'd dominate him. I did see him too. Probably 63 years old type shit. A couple of them years, like I said, I was riding bike with him as he was working security, smoking weed and shit like that, carrying long machetes, acting a fool. It was pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, he got up out of his bed completely and went to the wiki. He like went out because he didn't know what was going on. He couldn't see the underwear, nothing. But he leans out of the wiki hole, like he's like sideways in the wiki hole talking shit. The underwear's right there at his face, and like he's speaking mostly in Spanish, and like, you know, he calms everybody down, and he flops back into his bed. He's like, dude, take it down, blah blah blah. Huh? Can't be doing this shit, you know. And I didn't take it down like right away. I just kind of said I was like, you know, it's just for fun, dude. You know, he was like, don't matter, can't be doing that shit, whatever. But, and he was a little bit upset, you know, but he wasn't like in my face or throwing me around or yelling or anything. But I took it down, you know. The fun was over. But I think the underwear on the head was honestly more impressive and crazier than that. You know, because I didn't see anybody even doing that shit. Yeah, look at this fucking... That's ready to puncture a fucking tire. But yeah. That's the video. So, I'm kind of out there, yo, and I always did crazy little weird things for shits and giggles. I gotta lock my car. I want to eat more, dude, I do. Little black cherry ice cream. Oh, Jesus. But yeah, that's the fucking visual.